Today is the day. Today's the day I'm going to tackle this big old ugly burn pile. It's been the bane of my existence since we moved up here. It started with just some tree debris from when my tree trimmers were here because they couldn't run my saga palms through their wood chipper. I guess because of all the sap and stuff in saga palms, they couldn't run it through the wood chipper, no problem. So they rolled those back here. And a couple more little stumps, I think, got put with it that couldn't go through the wood chipper that they had pulled out of the ground. So that was okay. But then once you kind of have a pile, everybody feels free to use it. So not only have I thrown things in it, but all the contractors that were here doing things, put things in it, just all kind of stuff. And I was gonna just move it slowly to the other side of my property to put on another burn pile I have that I'm also gonna try to deal with today. But I just found that kind of burdensome in itself. This pile has broke down a lot. A lot of it is mushy and all now, except for some of these outer sticks. And I don't know what's in that pile, to be honest with you. I don't know what's living in there. So I'm just gonna set it on fire. Now you might ask, why haven't you done that before? This is easy, just easy. Well, I don't know. For one thing, it intimidated me. I just feel like things going up into those trees could catch on fire. I've had men stand here and go, no, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Well, it may not happen with them standing here, but with me here alone doing this, I worry that it could. And then what will I do? Another thing is just timing. You can't burn when it's windy. You can't burn when it's too dry. We were under a burn ban there in the fall for a long time. Then it rains, and it rained for 2, 3, 4 days, so it's too wet to burn. And actually that's what we're coming off of right now. We had a few days of rain. Thursday rained all day just about, but this is Saturday, 2 days later, and I'm okay with parts of it maybe still being wet. Maybe that'll keep it kind of mild. The wind yesterday was whipping, and I mean whipping. And we're in South Louisiana, but I think it's the same storm system that brought all the bad weather through Alabama, Mississippi, into the Carolinas and Tennessee, and I think put a lot of snow and cold weather on a lot of people. What we ended up here with was rain and some thunderstorms Thursday, and then Friday, this cold entered in, and the wind. And it was the kind of just wind. I got out and planted my potatoes yesterday, and it wore me out just dealing with the wind. But that seems to be over this morning. It could kick up later or something, but right now, while it's not, I'm gonna go after this pile. And I'm not gonna lie to you, burning big old things like this kind of intimidates me, because I just don't want to ever cause any problems that'll affect my trailer, affect the neighbors, affect anything. I know when I light it up right now, people are gonna think, oh no, is her house on fire, and come, riding by to see what's going on. I don't like drawing attention to myself. I don't like doing things like this that kind of can be dangerous when I'm on my property. My husband's inside, but he cannot help me with things like this. So I'm on my own doing this, and my son's not home, and I just need to get it done, but it still intimidates me to get it done. But today, I'm gonna just have to conquer my fear. I'm just gonna have to conquer my fear. I'm tired of driving up and seeing this burn pile. I'm tired of it being here and it feeling like it's a human garbage pile for everybody to throw something on. It needs to be done, and I have to just get over the things that stop me from doing things I need to do on this property. I have to just do them. It's been kind of a thing that I've had to deal with really the last couple of years in a big way. I just have to do it. I have to figure it out. I have to just get it done. I don't know what's gonna run out of this pile. That kind of scares me. A rabbit's not gonna bother me, but a big rat might. and it's right next to a beautiful azalea bush. It's a little overgrown, the azalea bush is, but it's beautiful. And it's, of course, budding out right now, like all our flowers are doing here in South Louisiana in February. I don't want to ruin this bush, so I'm going to drag my water hose over here, and I'm going to be as careful as I can to get this pile is burned. I guess it may not all be gone today, but I think I'm going to step out in faith and just kind of start. If I can even burn part of it, it'll give me a little bit more confidence in myself to burn all of it. And I realize that once I start burning it, it could all burn, but I may end up stopping it if I just feel like I need to with the water hose and kind of tamping it down. Or I may let it go. I'm just going to see how it goes. Well, it has begun. I just started it. I'm gonna get it going. Just gonna see how it goes. You might wonder, why in the world are you so worried about burning something? I know I brought that up a second ago, but it's not just about this fire. It's about just conquering your fears on all kind of things. And when I have fears sometimes, there are things that just might not bother other people at all. But they kind of bother me. Right before I lit this fire, I made a phone call. I had tried to call these people yesterday and didn't. Well, I tried, but it was going to a voicemail that it said wasn't set up. So I tried again today, and it was to make an appointment to do an interview for this channel with a farm around here. And so beautiful, just a beautiful place. I've been admiring it, and I finally had a friend who knew him who gave me numbers, and so I had to make the phone call. But I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy for me to just pick up the phone and cold call somebody. That has been a gut-wrenching thing for me to do for my entire life. It just has. I could have never made a living as a salesman that needed to either cold call people on the phone or just by dropping by a business to cold call sale. Some people have a gift for it. Some people excel at it, and I admire them. It has been something that's always pretty much petrified me. I have had to do it no matter what, because I've worked in businesses where we sell things, and you know, you have to call people sometimes you don't want to call, even if it's not to sell them something. It may have been to deal with a situation that involved something you knew they might be mad at you about. You weren't going to handle the situation maybe how they wanted you to, so you knew it was going to be kind of maybe ugly, but you had to go ahead and make the phone call because it was part of your business. And you've had good and bad things that happen through that. Maybe people end up coming around to your way of thinking and understanding what you're telling them, or sometimes you just may get your butt chewed. I've had that happen, and I just, as a nature with me, I don't like a lot of conflict. And so I kind of, you know, always have to just buck myself up before I pick up the phone and make a phone call. I have to just steel myself against rejection. Today I could have been rejected. I wasn't. I'm not sure that they understand all what a YouTube channel is, maybe, or maybe they do, I don't know, but they were at least open to talking to me. So I appreciate that. And that video will be coming soon. I think it's going to go good, and it'll be coming soon. So I look forward to getting off a Hilltop Home Place and letting you see some beautiful property that I've been admiring for a long time. And if I also may confess to you, a lot of times I just put off things and put off doing things that I just don't want to do. And maybe in life's past, I would have just hired somebody to come fool with it, just hired somebody so I didn't have to do it. But I don't want to do that anymore. I want to learn how to do things and fix things and work the systems around my house so that I can handle things, especially during an emergency or post-hurricane or whatever, you know, when there may not be people that you can call because they're all busy helping other people, or fixing their own houses that may have been damaged. So I'm trying to learn. That's one of the things going on right now. If you see this water draining off right here, draining kind of down that hill, it's coming from my sewer system. Now, the way they explain this to me, that's my actual sewer system. This is the tank and the pump. There's an electrical pump on that side that's wired into my electrical pole right there. And this pump runs and does its thing to process your waste or whatever, to process the waste that doesn't get processed through there. It'll keep processing it. And if it gets too full, it's supposed to send things down the pipe here that run to these sprinkler systems. There's a pole there, and you just have to trust me, there's 2 more poles on the other side of our property, about 40 feet apart each. And they have sprinklers. Now, these poles don't have sprinklers. That's just marking where the sprinklers are. But my sprinklers have been covered up with mud that has kind of come down the hill and covered them up with mud. So I think because the sprinklers are blocked, and I imagine all of them are, but for sure this first one is, because they're blocked, this motor is not doing what it needs to do as far as getting full and the motor cutting on to send the output to these sprinklers to be sprinkled and dispersed around our property. I think what it's doing is the sprinklers are covered with mud, they're not working, so it's seeping out of the edge of the tank, and it's just going down the hill, which is not what we wanted to happen, because then it sends it down the hill toward our neighbor's property. And that was why we spent the money to get the sprinkler system put in to begin with. Now, is the system at fault here? No. I think it's the mud, and it's me for not coming out here and cleaning the mud off the sprinklers to where they can work properly. And I've been knowing that a couple of weeks, but it's been so yuck and everything, and I've put my focus other places. I've planted things, I've done gardening, and I have relegated this sewer issue to the back of the pile. But now I need to deal with it. I can't have this runoff. I'm going to go around this pile in a minute and light other starting points. I just kind of wanted to get one point going right now. I had 2, but one burnt out. And then I'll kind of continue around the pile and as I get my confidence up. But back to my sewer issue. I have to conquer that dread, that fear of just going and digging around a sewer system. Nobody's going to do it. Nobody's going to do it but me. Nobody's going to do it. I have to just say, okay, Lainey. And the thing is, I could let this go because nobody's coming to check it. Nobody's coming. The sewer people aren't coming. The environmental quality people aren't coming. The neighbor is not coming. I could let it go for a while. But it bothers me because every time I walk out here, it slaps me in the face that I have an issue I need to deal with. It's like this burn pile. It's unavoidable. I drive up my driveway and I go, oh, I need to burn that burn pile. Well, how often can you say that before it just becomes, figuratively but realistically too, bricks on your back? And you need to take care of it, and you need to get it done. I need to get it done. Today, I knew that when I could, and it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning because I can't get out here as early as I want to. I have people to feed, I have things to do, I have to get people dressed, I have to get things accomplished before I can walk out the door. But I knew that when I walked out this morning, this was going to be something. I just thought, if I get nothing else done today but this one pile burned, at least those bricks are off my back. or if I at least get it going good enough to where I know I can come out here another day and kind of finish it off, and that it's not going to be that big a deal, that's bricks off my back. While it's going, I wanted to make sure it got started okay, but while it's going, I'm going to turn around with my shovel here in a minute and dig up these sprinklers and just see if that motor will cut on and send the water down here. I'm also going to go check my breaker box because I think there is a sewer main breaker, and I just want to make sure it's on. And I'm tell you what, if I can conquer a sewer problem today, as well as get this burn pile done, I've done something. And then, icing on the cake is I made the phone call. I made the phone call to strangers who could have rejected me, who could have just hung up on me, who could have been rude to me, who could have just said, we're not interested, bye-bye, and, you know, just got rid of me. I just went ahead and did it. I stuck my neck out there, and so far so good. So far so good. I got the sprinklers dug up. They were farther down than I thought. They were about 3 or 4 inches under mud. It was probably the mud they had piled up around these little trenches. It's not just that I have mud sliding down my yard all the time, but they had probably piled this mud around it from digging the trenches, and then that mud just kind of slid back over my sprinklers. But anyway, I had to dig down in there to get them. I got all 3 of them though uncovered. I'm going to move back some of that mud that was around them so that doesn't happen again, and I'm hoping that I solve this problem. We'll see how it works. I'm going to see if they cut on at some point today. Hopefully they will. I'll post a little footage in a few hours to see how this is going. But that's really my lesson for this today, to myself. Sometimes these videos are more a lesson to myself. I'm speaking out loud things to myself that have been bothering me in my heart. There's a lot of anxiety in the world right now. A lot of anxiety. I have it. I have it. And I don't think I'm an over worrier. I think I'm normal. And I have a lot of anxiety about, I guess, the gaslighting and the lying, let's just call it what it is. We're lied to so much. We're lied to so much. There are people who have just decided that manipulation is their #1 commodity that they can put on the world and sell to the world. Manipulate. And they look at people like me, like you, and they say, there's our target. Those are the ones we can manipulate. Those are the ones we can control. Those are the ones that will do our bidding because we will make it so. And if I was a willing person, as they want me to be, I wouldn't have stress. I would just go along to get along. I would just do whatever they told me to do to go along and get along, and I wouldn't be walking around with a lot of stress. But I'm not that way. I'm not that way. I am free. You are free. And free people are bothered by all this. And free people will change all this. I'm encouraged as I go through my life. I'm encouraged. And that's why I stay on YouTube, because to me this is just another social media platform that is corrupt. And sometimes I feel like by having a channel, I'm participating in that corruption. But you know what makes corruption better? You know what can make it change from corruption to being pure? Is good people. Good people taking a stand and bringing God, freedom, goodness, community, love, action, prayers, bringing that to a corrupted platform and changing that platform's essence back to what it should have been at its creation. And that's a force for good. So I'm hoping my channel can be a force for good. These people that I'm interviewing, they've been in the dairy business for many, many years. And it's been tough. And sometimes I know they've probably had their great times and their bad times. And I think right now, it might have worn them down a little bit. But you know what? Giving them a platform to tell their story can make a big difference. Other people need to hear these stories. Other people with dreams and with youth that are wanting to go into these industries can learn so much from people who have lived it and done it. And they can get hope. And they can get advice and guidance. And my channel, just like other channels, can take something bad, like a bad economic situation, and it can just bring a little candlelight that shines in the darkness. My channel's little. My channel's stuck right now under 400 subscribers, not moving. I think that's by design. I've always thought, I can tell when you watch your own channel, you can tell when you're just simply throttled. You get notifications of subscribers and the numbers never show up in your feed. That's okay. They don't have me because they never owned me. YouTube has never owned me. And I'm going to use my channel to have that little candlelight in the darkness, to tell other people's stories, to shine hope, to tell my story. If my stories in any way, shape, or form can help other people. I don't always go into terrible detail about a lot of things, but if you do follow someone's channel and you know their backstory, they don't have to talk about it all the time. You just can watch how they proceed in life and get hope. I've lost a son to suicide. I've lost a parent. I'm dealing with being the full-time spouse to a disabled husband whose life was just completely shattered 2 years ago with a stroke. We've got other little things going on in the background that I really can't talk about. I wish I could, because sometimes I need to vent and I wish I could, but there's some other situations going on in the background that are causing me a lot of stress. And you do me a favor by watching these videos and letting me be me, letting me share my love of gardening, letting me share my thoughts. But I also hope that my little channel is a candle in the darkness to some others, to some other people who I don't even know. I don't know very many of my followers, only a few personally. The rest of you I don't know personally. But I know your hearts, and I hope you know my heart. And I hope just doing a video looking at a burn pile won't bore you to death, because you know that this is my way of just sharing my feelings, my vulnerability, my thoughts, so that we can encourage each other to go another day in this world that can seem so crazy sometimes. It can seem so crazy. One thing I won't do on this channel, one thing I won't do is I won't manipulate. I don't do clickbait. I try to think of cute titles for my videos, just because I think a video needs an interesting title. But I don't clickbait you. I don't lie to you. I don't look at you as people I can manipulate and people I can control. I look at y'all as friends who have enough interest in the things I'm interested in to give some of your precious time watching my videos. And I am extremely thankful for that. I'm extremely thankful. This is a Saturday morning, beautiful, in South Louisiana. And I will let y'all know by posting a video later how the results of my phone call went when I go visit with these people later this week. I appreciate your time. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to all my viewers. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. It's about 5 hours later. Yes, 5 hours. I got it going good. It's been burning like this for hours and hours. But it's still here. The problem is there's just more big logs than I remembered. And they're smoldering. They're smoldering, but there's just more of them than I thought. And so I've been taking all the debris around the peripheral and feeding it up onto that fire, but I'm gonna let it be right now. I'm not gonna feed it anymore because this stuff is gonna be smoldering for a long, long time, overnight I'm sure, but I don't want it flamed up overnight. It's not what it's gonna be, but at least it's not what it was. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place saying goodbye again. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye.